Monday to Friday at 6 a.m. and start your day with our balanced and sensational morning news. Our interesting afternoon news comes on at 12 p.m.
From the news, from the News and Current Affairs Department here at Kear Communications Network. A pleasant good morning and welcome to the 6 a.m. edition of Care Newsline. Today is Monday, March 17, 2025. My name is Jefferson. We are anchoring stories topping the news this morning. Government of Liberia announces mobilization of US 2.36 billion for human capital development. Finance Minister Gazan Gafwan says the move will address high rate of poverty in the country. A Liberian lady, James Eto Kume, accuses doctors at ELWA hospital of allegedly demanding several organs on her body, demands immediate investigation from the Ministry of Health and other medical institutions. ArcelorMittal Liberia vows 2.5 billion investment in the country mining sector as the company's CEO, Michael van der Merwe, reaffirms the company's commitment to responsible mining practices. Of the home front, opposition parties in South Africa have called on its president not to be bullied by the U.S. after Washington expelled Ambassador Ibrahim Rasu, giving him just 72 hours to leave the country. The details of all these stories, the voices of the news makers, a full bulletin of news, plus our local developments are packaged. But first, Aloysius Chea and the news bulletin. Good morning, Aloysius.
Good morning, Jefferson. Good morning, Liberians. The Liberian government has vowed to mobilize and dedicate around US 2.36 billion in domestic and external resources to achieve its target set on the capital development. Period of arrest agenda on its 5-year duration. Finance Minister Augustine Gafuan made a disclosure of the government's intent over the weekend while delivering his keynote address at the 216th birth anniversary of Liberia's President Joseph Jenkins Robert, held at the First United Methodist Church in Monrovia. Minister Gafuan stated that the surest way the government can rescue its people from poverty and high dependency is to spread the light of education to a greater number of citizens. Minister Gafuan indicated that the total cost of the AARD is US $8.4 billion, noting that the human capital development pillar remains the second highest beneficiary next to infrastructure development of the domestic and external resources being mobilized to fund the government's plan as part of efforts to improve human capital during the next 5 years. Minister Gafuan revealed government's intent to, among other things, build, renovate, and expand several climate-resilient educational infrastructures across the country. According to him, the Ministry of Education, supported heavily by the Ministry of Finance and partners, is the pedal lead for the capital as human capital development payroll, expressing excitement over the level of coordination that exists between the two ministries. A letter identified as James Ethel Coleman has accused doctors at the ELWA hospital of damaging both of her kidneys and urethra. Madam Coleman, in a sad tone, narrated that on February 24, 2025, she left her home healthy, but upon arrival at the hospital, she was told that she needed a C-section due to the prolonged period of her pregnancy. She explained that without fear, she accepted due to undergo the C-section. She claimed that since the C-section, she has been experiencing several complications, including a damaged kidney and liver with her home being removed as well. According to her, since the operation, her body has undergone 8 sections of dialysis and she is yet to urinate. She urged authorities of the ELW hospital to give full answers as to what led to her kidneys and liver being damaged. Following the complaint from Madam Kuman, several Liberians have called on the Liberia Medical and Dental Council, Liberian Board of Nursing and Midwifery, and the Ministry of Health to make immediate intervention as to what led to the patient's numerous complications. ArcelorMittal Liberia has announced a total investment of approximately 2.5 billion in Liberia's mining sector, significantly contributing to infrastructure development and economic growth over the past 2 decades. On Saturday, March 15, 2025, the company officially celebrated its 20th anniversary in Liberia, reflecting on its achievements and future commitments. ArcelorMittal Liberia Chief Executive Officer Machia Fendi Merritt highlighted the company's contributions, noting that the company's operations have generated substantial revenue for the Liberian government. With the Phase 2 expansion project, government revenue from AML is expected to rise from 35 million to 200 million annually. The company also reaffirmed its commitment to responsible mining practices, prioritizing environmental sustainability and long term ecological health in collaboration with local communities. Also speaking at the program, Nima County Superintendent Madam Ku Mempa Gono also congratulated AML on its achievements while at the same time calling for greater community involvement in future arrangements. She urged the Nima County Legislative Caucus to ensure that local leaders and affected communities have a voice in mineral development agreement negotiations to prevent future disputes. This year, Arnold Joseph Jenkins Roberts' birthday celebration, his historic national holiday in Liberia, had faced a significant setback with poor attendance. The national event, marking the 216th birth anniversary of Liberia's first president, was held on Saturday, March 15, at the First United Methodist Church on Ashman Street in Monrovia. Roberts, also considered the father of Liberia since his death, the Liberian government has consistently observed his birthday as a national holiday. President Joseph Boakai formally proclaimed its observance in line with an act of the 42nd legislature. However, despite its national significance, this year's celebration saw a notably low turnout, especially among the United Methodist Church members and government officials. Many seats, including those reserved for high-profile guests, were empty. The low attendance may have been influenced by ongoing divisions within the UMC in Liberia, which has been embroiled in controversies, internal rifts, and conflicts, among others. According to the Center of the Dispute, are allegations from Bishop Kula and his supporters at the UMC under Bishop Samuel Quarles' leadership has deviated from traditional biblical teachings by endorsing same-sex marriage. Montserrado County District 10 Representative Yeke Koluba has revealed ongoing negotiation by both the majority and minority blocs to resolve the current impasse at the House of Representatives. Representative Yeke Koluba disclosed that the majority and minority blocs are currently discussing to settle the leadership crisis, which has lasted for over 6 months. According to him, as part of the negotiation, Majority Black Speaker Rachel Cohn will step aside, allowing embattled Speaker Fonati Kofa to preside over a section which will open the floor for the election of a new Speaker of the 55th National Legislature. The District 10 lawmaker alleged that both sides, including the executive branch of government, are also negotiating the allotment of key committees. Meanwhile, Representative Yeka Koloba described the reconciliation retreat organized by the majority bloc as a failed attempt to buy public sentiment. A Nigerian pastor, Ernest Ahoji Medu, was on Sunday afternoon arrested at his wedding ceremony in Kakata, Magibi County on the order of the Kakata Magisterial Court for alleged becoming. According to multiple reports, the Nigerian pastor had abandoned his legal wife and attempted to marry another woman. Investigations have revealed that he has been married and divorced more than 3 times. His latest attempt to tie the knot with his new woman was interrupted when the court intervened, leading to his arrest. Legal proceedings are expected to follow. Grand Bassa County District 5 Representative Thomas Gochwa has announced the allocation of $37,000 in legislative funds to help complete the construction of a much needed hospital in Giltown. According to him, the construction of the hospital is a key project in his district. Representative Goshua, speaking to journalists over the weekend, said funds designated for the legislative projects will support the ongoing health center project, which is currently in progress. Goshua also expressed his satisfaction with the progress and reiterated the importance of the facility in addressing critical health care gaps in the district. According to him, the hospital is vital for the well-being of residents, noting that it will provide much needed healthcare services for the community. Aggrieved motorcyclists in Monrovia have accused Montserrado County lawmakers of abandoning them in the ongoing restriction of LMP despite their support to them during the elections. Addressing a news conference in Monrovia, the head of the Supreme Motorcyclist Union, Trocon Gray, said despite our efforts applied by the union to seek the intervention of some lawmakers to lift the ban have proven fruitless, as lawmakers seem not to be interested in pleading on their behalf. He described as deceitful and unappreciative the action of some lawmakers who have abandoned them, even though they supported their bill during the just ended election. Greer, however, warned politicians to desist from using the motorcyclist case to score political goals in gain relevant at their detriment. The National Housing Authority has announced the launch of its off-taker program aimed at attracting who will be buyers of homes that are expected to be built by the institution. NHA Managing Director Madam Flores Jigby highlighted the significance of the exercise in aiding ongoing efforts to give potential homeowners the preference of securing affordable homes through a vetting process. According to her, statistics from the off-taker registration process will be used as a baseline that will attract housing development partners and investors to Liberia's housing market. She urged Liberians and foreign nationals to visit the National Housing Authority office beginning March 17 to declare their interest to participate in the registration process. In foreign news, opposition parties in South Africa have called on its president not to be bullied by the U.S. after Washington speared Ambassador Ibrahim Russell, giving him just 72 hours to leave the country. Russell was declared an unwelcome person after U.S. State Secretary Marco Rubio called him a race-baiting politician who hates America on Friday. Tensions between South Africa and the U.S. have been on a downward spiral since U.S. President Donald Trump came into office. However, South Africa's Minister of Internal Relations, Rodan Lamola, told state broadcaster that it is not helpful to engage in further diplomacy, saying the two countries need to talk face to face. Other politicians were less measured in their response. Julius Malema's opposition Economic Freedom Fighters Party issued a scathing statement against the U.S., calling on South Africa's President Cyril Ramaphosa to not allow the country to be bullied by the orange cloud occupying the White House. Well, Jefferson, that's the latest in the news bulletin. It's back to you for continuation.
Hello, just here in the news bulletin. The news bulletin is regularly featured on Kear News Line. One of the big stories we're following this morning: Government of Liberia announces mobilization of US 2.36 billion for Hemo Capital Development. Finance Minister Augustin Gaffan says the move will address high rate of poverty in the country. That story is just ahead of us. Straight into the news. The Liberian government has vowed to mobilize and dedicate around US 2.36 billion in domestic and external resources to achieve its targets set under the Human Capital Development pillar of the arrest agenda over its 5-year duration. Finance Minister Augustin Gaffon made the disclosure of the government's intent over the weekend while delivering his keynote address at the 216th anniversary of Liberia's first president, Joseph Jenkins Rabus, held at the First United Methodist Church in Monrovia.
Rationalize expenditure a court, we proactively begun to take steps to government spending on items and activities considered less critical. We issue fiscal rules that are essentially a package of measures of better tightening measures that reduce spending on such items as fuel, crash cards, foreign travel, and other non-essential goods and services. In budget execution, we have prioritized expenditure on roads and bridges and stepping up support to the health and education sectors will help mitigate the impact of the USAID law. More best practice measures to be announced and implemented in the coming weeks as the situation evolves. On the domestic resource mobilization, we need to announce a line to improve domestic resource mobilization efforts. Government raised nearly $700 million, the highest ever in our nation's history. We are taking more robust measures aimed at meeting and exceeding our ambitious revenue generation target. Our strategy essentially involves leveraging technology, revenue generation, plugging revenue leakages, remaining more for the government in negotiation of concession and other agreement, tapping on new revenues, forging stronger partnership with Liberia, bilateral and multilateral partners is one of the approaches we have adopted. And I need to say that the partner community was helpful in our coping, carrying over the food, fuel, and financial crisis of 2008.
The Liberia Finance Minister at the same time said there will be more belt tightening measures that will be announced in coming weeks to mitigate the impact of the aid cut to Liberia by the United States Agency for International Development as the situation unfolds.
When others retreat on us, especially as has recently happened with the gutting of a significant amount of aid under the USAID support program for Liberia, that's precisely the time to take ourselves more seriously. Our approach to addressing the present USAID aid cut focuses, but is not limited to rationalizing expenditure, stepping up domestic resource mobilization, forging stronger partnership with other bilateral and multilateral partners. I need to say that even before the announcement of the aid cut, we proactively began to take steps to reduce government spending on items and activities considered less critical. We issue fiscal rules that are essentially a package of measures of belt tightening measures that reduce spending on such items as fuel, crash cards, foreign travel, and other non-essential goods and services. We are prioritizing expenditure on roads and bridges and stepping up support to the health and education sectors to help mitigate the impact of the USAID cut. More belt tightening measures to be announced and implemented in the coming weeks as the situation evolves. I need to announce that last year, through improved domestic resource mobilization efforts, the government raised nearly $700 million in domestic revenue, the highest ever in our nation's history. This year, we are taking more robust measures aimed at meeting and exceeding our ambitious revenue generation targets. Our strategy quintessentially involves leveraging technology in revenue generation, plugging revenue leakages, and remaining more for the government in negotiation of concession and other agreements, and tapping on new revenue, forging stronger partnership with Liberia's bilateral and multilateral partners is one of the approaches we have adopted.
Well, Dr. Yesu were there. Dr. Susan were there. I didn't even know that Dr. Yesu did my surgery. because the joke was between two of us. What happened was that she said, it was just like one time when I saw only child wrote to have card outside Yesu. I said, well, who's the person? And I didn't know all of that. That's the person who had been in surgery. And after the few years they came down the wall, I hold my baby. We had also your own. I started bleeding. When I started bleeding, they said the uterus were not contracting. Some cases were happy that the uterus don't contract, especially for multiple women. And I knew about it. So they suggested total hysterectomy. I agree. We went in. We came in the second time they did a total hysterectomy. But when they brought me down the wall, everything became abnormal again. So the nurses said, but they said that's the case. Let's take her back to the OR and monitor. I was sedated, but I was semi-conscious because I was talking to them. People can attest that even when they brought me JFK, I was talking, they see the other patients I can talk. Even in the room I was going off. Before they brought me with the hot water, I know that hot water was wetting. So when the doctor told them, say the nurses, we were told them, say, carry the girl, by don't be that girl, by it. You don't be that girl. Until you're still last one. They carry me in the OR, they start. Something with blood. They requested for 20 units of blood from my name, which we provided. Coming with blood, kept me over there from the 25th to the 28th. When I went into shock, the last thing I could hear was your parker would kick at me and call the ambulance. That was when they brought me to JFK. Maybe the hope was when I was coming to die. They told me they kept me in the OPD to do X lab. They called for X lab. Any issue of kidney problem, nothing had come. No liver problem. I never had any edema through all my pregnancy. I've been taking my medications. I've been going to them. With the 1 more days then I have, I don't have to go to them. I see.
Her name is James Eto Kome. Aggrieved motorcyclists in Monrovia have accused Montserrat County lawmakers of abandoning them in the ongoing restriction by LMP despite their support to them during the elections. Addressing a news conference in Monrovia, the head of the Supreme Motorcyclist Union, Children Gray, said despite all efforts applied by the union to seek the intervention of some lawmakers to lift the ban have proven fruitless, as lawmakers seemed not to be interested in pleading on their behalf.
We, the fact, want to use this public medium to express our disappointment in the lawmaker that only seek the personal interest, forgetting about the people they represent. Over the period, they are put together to members of both upper and lower houses, making them to be who they are today. It is very sad to have seen our lawmakers being interested in the views of our rights and cities. But we are not surprised with the statement that has been issued by Honorable Cyrus the norm that we suppose no go to retreat. Even when it is extended, honorable, nothing less we expect from a rather the prophet, you, honorable senator, want you to know that the money that was collected for us in the name of taxes, portion of it was used for you to be paid the very expensive cars that you ride. Our taxes were used for this purpose. We look forward and therefore await an electoral people. We want to thank those who currently showing concern, standing with us to ensure that the ban is and our rights. Also want to have the public informed that 35% of our banks that were unlawfully arrested and impounded.
Gray is the president of the Supreme Motorcyclists and Transport Union. Well, listeners, in case you've just joined us, it's a reminder that you're listening to Care Newsline. Today is Monday, March 17, 2025. I'm Jefferson. We are anchoring this 6 a.m. edition of our news magazine program. Top stories will follow in this morning. Government of Liberia announces mobilization of US 2.36 billion for human capital development. Finance Minister Augustine Gaffon says the move will address high rate of poverty in the country. A Liberian lady, James Etta Kome, accuses doctors at ELWA hospital of allegedly demanding several organs on her body. Demands immediate investigation from the Ministry of Health and other medical institutions. ArcelorMittal Liberia vows 2.5 billion investment in the country mining sector as the company's CEO Michael Vandermeer reaffirms the company's commitment to responsible mining practices. Away from Liberia, opposition parties in South Africa have called on its president not to be bullied by the U.S. after Washington expelled Ambassador Ibrahim Rasool, giving him just 72 hours to leave the country. We take another break. We'll return to bring you more developments. Please keep tuned. Welcome back and thanks for being there. Grand Bassa County District 5 Representative Thomas Goshua has announced the allocation of US $37,000 in legislative funds to help complete the construction of a much needed hospital in Town. According to him, the construction of the hospital is a key project in his district. Representative Goshua, speaking to journalists over the weekend, said funds designated for legislative projects will support the ongoing health center project, which is currently in progress.
Commission the budget was around 45,000, but after they went through the budget scrutiny and things, what Ministry of Finance remitted to the House of Representatives, each representative will be going away with 37,000, and that amount was placed into the contractor's account. The people of Electoral District 5 overwhelmingly told me that the issue of health that they were faced with, there was no health center within the district. All the clinics were almost non-functional, and they were in hard to reach areas, and so that they said that we should be able to do a health center in the district. We earmarked Town. Unfortunately, during the 6th year of the last administration, we were not able to get any sort of funding for legislative project. And so the project was at a very slow pace. Opposition figure and people in the ruling establishment didn't want to work along with us, even though we were working under the umbrella of one government. But the issue of politics overshadowed the issue of governance in the country. And so we were not able to achieve the completion of the health center. But we started it and we brought it as far as roof level. Now with this administration coming in and the issue of legislative project being brought back to the fore, after having discussion with citizens, we submitted the completion of that health facility to the list. As we speak currently, the work is being done. I think it is being roofed now. I'll be going to visit the site on tomorrow, but they have already completed the pieces of plank to form the roof.
Is Grand Bassa County District 5 Representative Thomas Goshua. In more legislative news, Montserrat County District 10 Representative Yeka Kaluba has revealed ongoing negotiation by both the majority and minority blocs to resolve the current impasse at the House of Representatives. Representative Kaluba disclosed that the majority and minority blocs are currently discussing to settle the leadership crisis, which has lasted for over 6 months. According to him, as part of the negotiation, Majority Bloc Speaker Richard Kuhn will step aside, allowing embattled Speaker Fonati Kofa to preside over a session which will open the floor for the election of a new Speaker of the 55th National Legislature.
Now when the people let me for there is negotiation going on. Some of the things they say you must leave Rachel there. I told Chenability, I said Chenability, you somebody that I respect. When people told me, oh, don't vote for Chenability for speaker, I say I will vote for him. So let the relationship with me. The day I hear you talking about dealing with Rachel there, the day you hear me dealing with Musa Chenability and Speaker Kofa, then that means they have resolved that we take more with me. I will not tell about us. We will not waste our time. Why we should waste the proper time if we knew Rachel was going to be speaker? Why? Why should we waste our time to recently waste the proper time? Nothing going on. If we knew very well we're going to be Rachel as speaker, they don't mean well for the country. And the people try to negotiate. Oh, let Rachel there. Let Rachel be speaker. So we say our own paper to them. What we want is to come and take the gavel. We start the process. At that time, a speaker Kofa thing because of the deception. He don't want to be speaker, it is his right. But for Speaker Kofa to say that, not getting the gavel authority, he just said that he resigned. Speaker Kofa will feed him. He will feed him good. That one.
Controversial Representative Yeke Kaluba. A Nigerian pastor, Ernest Ejiaminu, was on Sunday afternoon arrested at his wedding ceremony in Kakata, Margibi County, on the order of the Kakata Magisterial Court for alleged bargaining. According to multiple reports, the Nigerian pastor had abandoned his legal wife and attempted to marry another woman. His latest attempt to tie the knot with this new woman was interrupted when the court intervened, leading to his arrest. Here is a highlight from the scene as Kear FM is still following this development. We sincerely apologize we can bring you that development. The Grand Mufti of Liberia is calling on the government of Liberia to subsidize Islamic schools engaged with providing Arabic and English education to youths in the country. Sheikh Abubakar Sumaworo said Islamic schools were receiving subsidies from the government during the administrations of Presidents William R. Tobot and Samuel Kanyado. Sheikh Sumaworo made the call when he spoke at the program marking the presentation of awards to winners of the 8th National Quranic Recitation Competition organized by the United Dawa Ummah of Liberia in Congo Town during the weekend.
While the government is complaining about the drug issue in the country, it is organizing securities to combat against the pushing and other drugs that can spoil the future of the children. We, the Islamic centers, we are preparing the being of the children to dislike, to hate the drug. So these Islamic centers deserve to be supported by the authorities. And if we knew what we be asking for it a long time, in terror regime, a certain people regime, the schools, Muslim schools used to receive the subsidy. If our government would see the necessary adjustment to agree that subsidy should be made to any regular school, it would be better. And here we are very thankful to the supporters of the Ummah together. I'm going to report that we hear from the announcer today. The Ummah together have a market. That market is one of the unique markets in the Republic of Liberia. Market needs to be completed.
Grand Mufti of Liberia, Sheikh Abubakar Sumaworo. Meanwhile, a member of the organizing committee, Mohammed So, and the Abubakar Bari thanked their sponsors for supporting the competition.
We would like to take this time to extend our heartfelt thanks and appreciation to every one of you, including the press. You were with us from the very beginning of this program. You've been here for the past 3 days, and you saw how challenging it has been to organize such a program and gathering people peacefully. And alhamdulillah, we are living from here peacefully. Everybody is living in a sound state of mind. And everybody who came here, not only the participants, everybody is a winner for the fact that once you come and listen to the Quran, you get your reward, you get blessings from it. So everybody is a winner in this competition, including all of us, the audience. What we are doing in terms of organizing the Quranic centers, we are now encouraging people, and we are also opening centers exclusively for females that will increase their participation in such a program. So this is what we are doing, and we'll try to do as much as possible to get them involved. In every year, we should come one step above. That's how we know that we are making progress.
My name is Abubakar Siddiq. I'm so happy. I'm so happy with the United Dawah of Liberia. I thank them, and I thank all the parents of the children. I tell my family, my equals, I put focus and read. Not to come here and do the same thing what I do. I tell everybody, let's do the United Dawah of Liberia. I'm going to give them blessing and help. I want to be a big imam in the country. My advice to them, let them pay focus and read for next year. When I come in, let them pay focus for it.
The voices of Mohammed So and Abubakar Bari, bringing us to the near end of today's edition of Kear Newsline. Many thanks to all of our reporters, editors, contacts who helped in making this edition of Kear Newsline a success. Aloysius Chea was here with our local development and at the same time brought you the foreign news. Sam Moba Sarah control and produced the sound. James Walker coordinated. Before we leave, a relook of our major stories. Government of Liberia announces mobilization of US $2.36 billion for human capital development. Finance Minister Ngozi Ngafan says the move will address high rate of poverty in the country. A Liberian lady, James Etta Kume, accuses doctors at ELWA hospital for allegedly damaging several organs on her body. Demands immediate investigation from the Ministry of Health and other medical institutions. ArcelorMittal Liberia vows $2.5 billion investment in the country mining sector as the company's CEO, Michael Vandermeer, reaffirms the company's commitment to responsible mining practices. Away from Liberia, opposition parties in South Africa have called on its president not to be bullied by the U.S. after Washington expelled Ambassador Ibrahim Rasool, giving him just 72 hours to leave the country. The details of all these stories we brought you. Thanks for listening and thanks for watching. My name is Jefferson. Weah. I presented. Good morning.